This is why eyeliner doesn't look good on you. Welcome to my channel. My name's Karina. I stick to natural, classy, and wearable makeup. So if you're into that kind of makeup, I think you'll really like my content. In today's video, I'm going to be going through every single different eye shape and kind of showing you how to apply liner to really enhance that eye shape. Eyeliner can be a really hard thing to get right because it really morphs or changes the shape of your eye. So if you're not applying it correctly, it can really hide your eye or make them look smaller or make them look droopy. So if you put eyeliner on and you think, why doesn't this look as good on me as it does on somebody else? I'm going to show you why. Plus, I'm just going to give you some general tips and things to think about when you're applying eyeliner that'll work for every eye shape. We'll do that at the very end. So first, I would personally argue that eyeliner doesn't necessarily suit everybody. If after watching my video you try different things and you just feel like it doesn't look good on you, then just don't wear it. I am going to give you a couple tips at the end of the video that I think will suit every single eye shape. Curling your lashes, playing up your lashes, adding lashes does look good on everybody. So liner might not work for you, but lashes will always work for everyone. So as I go down this list of all these different eye shapes, just keep in mind that you are probably going to have more than one shape. Not probably, you will have more than one of these features. So for example, I have almond eyes, but they're also deep set and they're also narrow set. So I really take all of those things into consideration when I'm doing my liner placement, and you'll see what I mean. The first eye shape I want to talk about is the almond shaped eye. So it's a very, very common eye shape. It looks exactly how it sounds. It just looks like an almond sideways. And generally the almond shaped eye can kind of get away with most eyeliner styles. Almond shaped eyes are usually pretty easy to manipulate the shape of. So if you draw it really thin on the inner corner and gradually get thicker on the outer corner, then you're really going to accentuate that kind of wing shaped look. If you want your eyes to look a little bit more round, then you would go from thin to thick to thin. So you can kind of play around with different liner styles and see what suits you. I think on an almond shaped eye, the traditional shape of starting out really thin and getting a bit thicker on the end is a really pretty way to wear your liner. Next eye shape, downturned eyes. Downturned eyes just typically turn down on the outer corner. So for this eye shape, it's really nice to not put any liner on the bottom lash because you don't want to do anything that pulls the eye down even further. What I would do is keep your liner to the outer 2/3 and really make the outer part a little bit thicker. Draw the line a little bit higher than you'd normally think it would need to be, just to kind of give that eye a bit of a lift. Next, we have round eyes. If you have very round eyes and you kind of want to make them look a little bit more exotic and kind of pulled out, then focus your liner on the outer edges, both on top and bottom. And round eyes are really good to play with wings to kind of make them like pulled out. If you have very deep set eyes, then I personally think it's probably best to stay away from liner, just because any thick dark line that you put on is going to make them look even more receded. So I personally have deep set eyes, and that's part of the reason why I don't wear liner that often, because it does tend to make my eyes look a little bit more pushed in. However, you can still define your lash line. So instead of drawing a line, I will take a liner and just kind of really smudge it right into the root of my lash and then focus on playing up my lashes, and then that's just going to make my eyes look kind of bigger and brighter. But for deep set eyes, typically thick or black lines don't look the best. If you really want to wear a liner, then just choose something that is a little bit more natural, like a brown shade. If your eyes are narrow set like mine are, then the emphasis should be all on the outer edge. So for me, I put liner on the outer 2/3 of my top lash and my bottom lash to really pull the eyes apart. And then to further pull them apart, I will also put a bright shadow on the inner corner, just so that part looks bright and open. And then the darkness is on the outer side so that everything is pulled apart. If you have wide set eyes and they sit quite far apart on your face, then when you draw your liner, just make sure to draw it right from the very inner corner to the outer corner. And if you use the same thickness across, then that won't cheat the inner corner. Make sure when you're drawing the liner, you really get in from the very inner corner and you don't cheat that inner part, because you don't want it to look more far apart than it is. So it's the opposite of what you're trying to do when you have narrow set eyes. Another thing to think about, no matter what your eye shape is, when you look in the mirror in a very relaxed way, how much lid space is showing. So this lid space right by the root of your lashes, if you have a lot of lid space showing there, then you'll definitely be able to get away with a lot thicker of a line. If you don't have much lid space showing at all, or you have like partially hooded or hooded eyes, then I think less is more when it comes to liner. That's when I would maybe just focus on smudging liner right into the root of your lashes. Really focus on making your lashes look thick and do more of a lashy look. And something else you can do with hooded eyes or not much lid showing is to just tight line your upper lid. That's also just going to make your lashes look thicker. It'll define your eye a little bit more without drawing a line on the top eyelid, which will just hide the lid that you barely already have showing. If you have really small eyes, I would suggest staying away from really dark or black liners just because it'll make everything look a little bit smaller. You can play around with wing shapes just to kind of elongate or make the eyes look a little bit larger. Typically, if you've got really small eyes, that's when I also think it's really nice to focus on the lashes, because doing like a lashy look will always just open and make your eyes look a little bit larger. Another really good tip for small eye shapes is to use a nude eyeliner and stick that in the bottom waterline. That's going to make your eyes look a little bit bigger and more open. And then of course, if you have really large eyes, you can probably get away with using black liners, thicker lines, bigger wings, and things like that. So I just want to explain what I mean and kind of show you an example using myself that you're going to be a lot more than one of those things that I just talked about. So looking at my eye shape, for example, I have fairly almond shaped eyes, but they are narrow set and they're deep set as well. When I look straight into the mirror, I don't have a ton of eyelid space that shows. I don't necessarily have like a full hooded eye, but because my eyes are deep set and my brow bone is quite prominent, it comes over my eyelid. So it's kind of almost like a partial hood. So taking all of those things into consideration, typically I don't wear eyeliner on a day-to-day basis just because I feel like it kind of pushes my eyes in a little bit more or hides the small amount of lid that I do have. But if I do want to wear liner and I want to make my eyes look like very green or very defined, then I will keep my liner on the outer 2/3 of my upper and lower lid just to pull my eyes apart. I will never choose a black liner to put on unless I'm doing like a statement wing look. So for example, today I'm wearing Costa Riche by MAC, and it's just like a very soft neutral brown color. Because my eyes aren't super big and I want to make them look awake and bigger and more open, I do use that nude pencil on the bottom waterline. And because I don't have a ton of lid space, I do keep my line quite thin. So hopefully that kind of helps you think about all the features that we talked about. You can kind of combine them depending on what eye shape you have, and then just kind of play around with some of these tips and see if you can make an eyeliner shape that works really well on you. There are a few things that no matter what eye shape you have, I think looks good on everybody. The first thing is to just choose browns instead of blacks. Unless you have really deep skin and really dark eyes, then black will look really nice on you. But if you don't have very deep skin, sticking to browns instead of blacks is just going to make everything look a little bit softer and a little bit more natural looking. It's harder to mess up as well. I also think tight lining your top eyelid looks good on absolutely everybody. It's just going to really fill in that space, define your eye, make your lashes look thicker without manipulating your eye shape or hiding any of your eyelid. And then the last thing I think looks really good on everyone, and I talk about this quite a bit on my channel, is just drawing like tiny little dots right in, like wiggling the pencil right into the root of your lashes, and then just kind of smudging it out with your finger. So you're really just trying to get the roots of your lashes looking thicker without having like a obvious liner on your eye, because again, you're just kind of adding definition and thickening up those lashes. I really hope those tips were helpful for you. If you try a bunch of things and nothing seems to suit your eye, or you just don't like the way it looks on you, then don't worry about it. Just don't wear liner at all. Let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything I can further help you with. And I don't know if you noticed, but I got engaged last weekend. It was my birthday on Saturday and my boyfriend proposed to me. Now we just have to figure out how we're gonna plan a wedding during COVID times. So wish me luck. That's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next video.